What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about MicroStrategy today, MSTR. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. All right, here we are at about $418 now. Finding resistance here at the same areas that you were finding resistance before. I do believe that Bitcoin is going to continue to consolidate for the rest of this week. I think that today, Wednesday, tomorrow, Thursday, and the next day, Friday, are going to be very boring and kind of nonchalant days. In this time, MSTR could definitely find a moment to pull back a little bit and perhaps go down to that 390 or lower area that we've been discussing over the past few videos that I've made for MSTR here. You know, you've been overbought for a little while in your RSI. There's no rule that says you can't be overbought for 100 days in a row, right? You can. You can be overbought for as long as you want. And you've technically barely dipped out of it a couple of times already. But I do think that if you were to continue higher with these kind of readings, you would have done so already. The fact that you have this kind of maintained stance in the overbought zone, but you're just not going anywhere, tells me that you probably are waiting for a little bit of a pullback. And with that, I mean, I could see that happening because I think, you know, here, $103.3 thousand Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised if we drop down to 102K. You know, anytime Bitcoin makes a movement down at all, people get really excited and think that, oh, it's going to go to 90K. We're going to get another chance to buy. That kind of excitement could drive some people to panic sell and shake out right on this coming drop, however insignificant it is. I do expect it to be very insignificant. I don't think MSTR would go below 380. You know, 380 at the lowest, but something between there and 390 I think is pretty suitable. Definitely below $400. If you don't make it to 390, that's fine, but something a little bit lower, and at the very least, more consolidation is at hand, at least for this week. I don't think that this week is the week that MSTR breaks above 430. I don't think that it's, I mean, maybe it goes a little bit above 430, but I'm talking about a break. You know what I mean? I don't think this is the week that MSTR breaks above this zone. Next week is setting up to be that week, in my opinion, unless some crazy stuff happens, unless we have some kind of crazy catalyst happen in the news. But 4 hours, 43 minutes left in this day. I've just done a Bitcoin video where I basically assumed that the price will close red today, and that essentially would imply that the rest of the week will be neutral, and going into next week as well, we will be consolidating. So I do assume that MSTR is going to be rather boring as well. Looking at this on a 1 hour time frame here, the 1 hour RSI it's pretty bullish, honestly, but neutral at the same time at the moment. You know, you were getting overbought here, you're not getting overbought now. You're not growing here, right? These were higher highs here. This is a double top of sorts. You're kind of in a position to go down, so I think that you will go down. My expectation here at 417 would be that you drop down to that area, something below $400, 390 to 380. That's what we're looking for. At the very least, you know, I think 395 sounds about right, but probably lower than that even. Looking at the 3 hour time frame here, also agrees with the idea that we move down. Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. In fact, let's just see. I mean, if, and I doubt you move down to 380, but even if you did, I mean, man, even if you move down to 370, you're fine, right? That's actually a pretty standard retracement there is 370, but I don't even know if you go down that low, man. This thing looks like it doesn't want to give up any kind of price action to the downside. But with that being said, any price action to the downside will help the RSI cool off. It will get you out of the overbought zone and set you up in an area to bounce from like you were back here whenever you were driving higher, right? You cooled off your RSI and you drove higher each and every time. So we're just looking for a little bit of that. With 2 days left in this week, including today, 2.5 days, and then next week potentially, you know, we might not move up on Monday. It could be like a day or two that we move up next week. With a few days left before we do start to break out, as far as MSTR is concerned, I think that could give you enough time to cool your RSI off a little bit. Okay, whenever it comes to going higher, and we will be going higher very soon, I wouldn't be surprised if next week we were making strides higher than anything we've seen so far this year of 2025, man. If we're looking at this from a high to a low, the expectations, not just for next week, but for the weeks to come, are to move up to $684, $918. Perhaps we will see something of this nature or in this area by the end of May, but I'm thinking this kind of target area will be explored more so in June, and we will even break through that target zone in June. I believe by the end of June, we will see prices somewhere around like $1,100, $1,200, $1,300 or beyond that by the end of June for MSTR, if not early July. I don't know if I have anything else that I want to say. It's kind of the same old stuff. There's nothing new that I'm aware of really, other than, you know, Michael Saylor's meeting up with Trump to talk about some stuff. He's also meeting with isn't he meeting with the El Salvadorian president? to talk about Bitcoin strategic reserves, or is that somebody else? I'm getting confused. I think it might be somebody else. It might be another person. Anyways, other than news, there's really nothing new going on in the price. We're just kind of at the same area that we've been. So we're waiting, man. We're waiting. We're absolutely in the middle of a breakout move right now. You can see that we've got this consolidation phase here. Whenever we broke out, even though here for a week we moved down and we were moving sideways probably for this week, we were still moving up higher overall. Here, we're in a consolidation phase, and this week we're moving down, we're moving sideways. Overall, we're moving higher, and the price action to expect would be something on the lines of 12 to 1300, if not more, by the end of June. I got nothing else for you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care. Bye bye.